Hello everyone, welcome back to the Python short video series. In this episode, we are going to learn some of the most important basics of Python, variables and data types. You'll learn how to store data in variables, what different types of data exist in Python, how to convert between them, and how to get input from the user. Let's jump right in. A variable is like a box with a label. You can store information in it and then use that information later in your program. Unlike some other programming languages in Python, creating a variable is super easy. Just give it a name and assign a value using the equals sign. Now, let me show you how we assign variables in Python. Here I'm creating a variable called name and assigning it the text Alice. This one will be age with a number 25, and this last one is a true false value called a Boolean set to true. Now that I have assigned the values to these variables, let's see what happens when we use them. I'm using the print function here. When I run the code, Python shows me the values that I stored in those variables. Notice that I'm not using the stored inside variables. I'm just using the variable names. Now, when I run the code, as you see, Alice, 25, and true appear just as I assigned them. This is how variables work. You store information once and you can use it anywhere in your program by just using the variable's name instead of typing the value again. Now that we know how to create variables, let's take a closer look at the different types of data that Python works with. These are called data types, and they describe what kind of information is stored in a variable. The first type is integer, written as int. Integers are whole numbers, positive or negative, without a decimal point. Let's say we're assigning a variable called score, which holds 90. Here, score is an integer because it's a whole number. Python automatically knows that 90 is an integer. Next, we have float. A float is a number with a decimal point. Let's say pi is 3.14. This value, 3.14, is stored as a float, which means a floating point number. Let me give you another example. Let's say a cost is 1,000.0. You may think this as an integer, but because there is a decimal point at the end, it's actually a float. Python knows the data type of each variable automatically. If you ever want to check what type of data a variable has, you can use a built-in function called type. Let me use it now. I'll say print type cost. This is the syntax of using type. As you see, it replied back as class float. It's not an integer. The third type is string, written as str. Strings are for text and they are always inside quotes. Let's say username is Ece and print type username. As you see, it says its class is string. Notice the double quotes around the word Ece. That tells Python this is text and not a number. Let me give you another example. Let's say number is 10. And when I say print type number, it'll actually give me class string because of the double quotes, as you see. And finally, we have Boolean or bool. Boolean values can only be true or false and are often used in decision making. Let's say is logged in is false. If I write f in lower cases, Python will give me an error. Because lowercase f or lowercase t are not keywords of Boolean expressions. Now, this variable is false and its class is Boolean. Let me show you another way. It's false. If I change the value to true, Python will remember this and change the value to true. So here we have an integer, a float, a string, and a Boolean. These four data types are the ones you will use most often as you start coding. Sometimes we need to change from one type to another, for example, from text to a number. Let's see how to do that with type conversion. Sometimes the type Python gives you isn't what you need. For example, what if you have a number stored as text and you want to do math with it? That's where type conversion, also called casting, comes in. Here I have a variable called number text. It looks like a number, but it's actually inside quotes. So Python sees it as text. If I try to add 8 to it, for instance, I'll get an error. So how can I fix this problem? Maybe I can convert number text, the string value, into an integer. Yeah, but how can I do it? By using built-in int function. Let's assign a new variable called number, and by using the built-in int function, I converted this text into integer. Now it won't give me an error and actually do the concatenation, as you see. Python has simple functions to convert between types. Int turns text and floats into an integer. Floats makes a number decimal. str turns numbers into text. And bool converts values into true or false. This is very useful when working with user inputs because input is always text. Let's see that next. Python lets us ask the user for information using the input function. Whatever the user types gets stored in a variable. Let's say name is input. What's your name? And I'll print it now. When I run this, Python waits for me to type something. After I enter my name, it stores it in the name variable, as you see. Remember that input is always saved as text, even if it looks like a number. Let's say age is input. How old are you? And I'll print you will be old next year. It asks me my age. And now, as you see, I got an error because age is still a string. To fix this, I need to convert it to an integer with int function. I can do it inside print function by converting age into integer. Now, as you see, it didn't give me an error because I converted input into integer. Whenever you ask for a number from a user, don't forget to convert it to an integer or float. That's it, you know how to work with input. And that's it for this lesson. Today we covered variables, data types, type conversions, and how to take user input. These are the foundations you'll use in every Python program. In the next video, we'll learn about operators and expressions, how to make Python calculate and compare values. If you found this helpful, give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you soon!